this is like the last week of intense training now before you kind of start tapering it down. Week of the fight, travel out to Germany on Monday. Last sparring session tomorrow. I'm on weight. I'm feeling good.
How's the sparring been this time? Ronnie says you still struggle to get sparring partners down, but people, since your profile's grown, more people want to come and have a go.
No, I wouldn't say that. It has been hard. We've had to use the same guys over and over. The new guys we do get in, sometimes they'll come down once and then that's it. But we're making do with what we have, and I'm fully prepared.
We've seen one Brit in action so far in the Super Series, Callum Smith against Eric Skoglund. Did you watch the fight? What did you make of Callum's performance?
Yeah, I saw the fight. I wasn't impressed. This is supposed to be the favourite to win the tournament, and I didn't see anything that I won't be able to deal with comfortably, in my opinion. But that's for everybody to see. Talk is cheap.
Who do you see as the main threat in your weight category in this tournament?
There's a lot of unknown fighters in the tournament. For me, anyway, I don't know some of them. So all I can go on is by who I know, and that is George Groves. He's the man with the belt. He's the man that has the profile. He's been in big fights. And we have a history, and the fight fans, they want to see that fight. They've been asking for that fight for years now, so he is the man to beat, in my opinion, in this tournament.
He doesn't think you're made for super middleweight. He says if you can make middleweight, then that's where you should be. What's your response to that, and do you think it's a problem?
I'm sure he is saying I should be at middleweight, because that way he's safe. Weight is not an issue to me. Yeah, these are bigger guys that I'll be fighting, but there's a lot more that comes into winning a fight than who's the bigger man. Heart, grit, determination, chin, speed, power, everything. There's so many different, variants to what can make a great fighter, not just the size. And they say the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
What do you make of Avni Yildirim? Do you know much about him?
I've seen a few of his fights now. Obviously, studying him before the fight next week. He's a strong, rugged, tough, come forward fighter. That's what I see from him. Not very skillful, not very technical, not very fast, but strong and willing to have a tear up, and that can only make for a very exciting fight for the fans.
Is that the sort of style you like facing? Someone who keeps coming?
It plays into my style because I'm constantly throwing punches. So if I have a guy coming onto me all the time, that can only make for a spectacular boxing bout. Sometimes you get fighters who are running and messing you about, and I can deal with those guys, but it doesn't make for an exciting watch. That's why I picked this guy. I wanted to start this tournament with an exciting fight, and I knew Avni Yildirim's the guy to come there and really try and put it on me. So I'm expecting big things for this fight.
Any concerns about going to Germany, particularly Stuttgart, where there's this large Turkish population? Yeah,
I keep hearing that there's like 500,000 Turks out there or something. It doesn't worry me. If I walk into that arena in Stuttgart and I'm getting booed and jeered and all the rest of it, then so be it. As long as I get that win underneath my belt, that's the only thing that matters. And obviously I'm looking to take those people that may not want me to win and turn into my own fans. And the only way I can do that is by putting on, a stellar performance on the night, which I'm sure I will do.
I asked George Groves the same question about this fight and his fight being on pay-per-view. Now, obviously, if you both win, then it's a huge semi-final for Britain. Do you feel like it's a bit of a shame that these two quarterfinals are behind a paywall as such, not free to air, and like when your dad was fighting Nigel Benn, the whole country watches it. It's now only people who are prepared to pay are able to watch this. What's your kind of whole feeling on the pay-per-view issue, and do you think it is damaging to the profile of a boxer like you, and the same with George Groves?
In terms of the pay-per-view, you know, it's not my decision. I get paid for my fights by the promoters. I'm not receiving any money through the pay-per-view event. That's separate. You know, I have a set purse. So they've decided that they want to put it on pay-per-view, and you know, that's up to them. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I believe I am worth paying to watch a fight. You know, it's a lot of these guys these days that you pay to watch, some of them are not that exciting. You know, I believe I give a lot of bang for my buck, and you know, if some people, no one's ever happy about paying for a fight, but this is why I put it all out. I put it all in the ring. You know, I give the performances I give, because if people are going to pay their hard-earned money to watch me fight, you know, it's not enough to go in there and just do the bare minimum. You got to put on a show. You got to look good. You got to put everything on the line, and I believe I do that. So that's why I guess these fights are pay-per-view.
A week after your fight, of course, Groves fights Jamie Cox in the other quarterfinal to see who fights you in the semi-final. Presumably you want Groves to win.
Yeah, we have the history, we have the background, we have the rivalry, the public interest. Like I said, everyone has been waiting for this fight for a long time now. So, you know, hopefully he gets through the Cox fight, and we can give the fans what they want.
Do you see any problems for him against Cox? Do you make him a pretty firm favourite?
I don't know much about Cox, to be honest. I've only seen one of his fights. You know, he's another unknown, so I can't really comment on that. But George seems pretty confident, and you know, he's an experienced fighter. So if he thinks that he's got it under control to where you can pick him and fight first, then I'm sure he'll come out on top.
Both Billy Joe Saunders and James DeGale have said that Eubank's going to fight, win this quarterfinal, and then pull out. What do you make of that? Why are they saying that, both of them?
You know, they need to talk about me to get any type of publicity, because they haven't got anything else to say about themselves or about anything in general. So who can we talk about? Who's going to get the most hits online? Eubank. You know, they can't honestly believe that, because you know, it's dumb. It's dumb. It's moronic to think that I would pass up a fight against George Groves, something, you know, to fight for a belt in this tournament where so much money is on the line, so much profile. I'm just going to give that up for what? You know, I don't really pay much mind to that type of talk. You know, they're just looking for a headline.
Did you see Saunders against William Monroe? Did you watch the fight?
I saw it. Yeah, very, very disappointing. You know, couple of more than one person actually that I know said they fell asleep. You know, he's not an exciting fighter. Pretty disappointed in Monroe as well. He didn't really look like he came in there with any real desire. You know, Saunders needs me, but I'm on to bigger and better things now.
Do you think we'll ever see the rematch?
I hope so. You know, for me now, I'm at the stage now where it's kind of like I don't care anymore. I'm past that. I'm over it. But I know, you know, fans are dying to see the fight. So for their sake, I hope it happens. But me personally, you know, I genuinely don't need him. You know, the amount of profile, the amount of money that I can make in this tournament and in fights after this tournament, you know, I just don't need Saunders. He's, you know, and he cannot say the same. He hasn't got anybody that he can fight that can make him any decent money, get him any real decent exposure. He needs me. So, you know, once I've done this tournament, I'm looking to fight DeGale. And then after that, if Saunders is still around, which I don't even think, I doubt he will be. I'll be surprised if he will be. If he's still about, then, you know, maybe I'll entertain it.
Just one final one on James DeGale, back punching this week after his shoulder injury, his shoulder surgery. Is that encouraging for you to see? Is it good for the division to have him back and, in theory, then have that belt back in competition?
Of course, he's got the belt, so you know, to have him back on his feet is what we want. You know, is what the fans want, and it's what I want as a fight who's looking to unify the division. Again, another great rivalry, a great grudge match. And you know, after I win this tournament, he really doesn't have any excuses. He's given so many excuses over the last year or two as to why he won't fight me. After this tournament, there's nowhere to hide. So,
do you anticipate there being any problems with that? Obviously, there's been talks in the past, there's been offers in the past. Can you foresee a situation where actually that fight doesn't happen for one reason or another?
I really don't. I mean, it will get to the stage where I guess, you know, I should be like a mandatory, really. I mean, after winning this tournament, it's kind of like, well, you know, what other fighters can he fight? There's Gilberto Ramirez, and there'll be me. You know, who else can he fight? Who else does the public want to see him fight? Nobody. So, you know, I think it will get to the stage where it's like you either fight me or you give up your belt.